Hello, everybody. So today I am going live from my phone. I'm trying that again, so we'll see. I got like a super nifty, so I need to remember where the camera is. I got a super nifty, like tripod. I don't know what it's called. And so yeah, I just wanted to see if I like this more because I feel like the camera is actually better on my phone, probably because my computer is like 2 years older. So anyway, I'm wearing my hat again. Woo! I figured it's kind of fun. And you know, why do we have to be all like serious and blah blah blah, buttoned up and all that? I don't think that's not my style. So if you're joining live, please let me know where you're joining from. And that would be awesome. I don't see anybody. Sorry, I'm just like learning how to re-navigate because, okay, I should see comments on this view. Cool, so they changed the interface a little bit. I have my unicorn mug that my friend got me from Anthropologie. So I have a little bit of coffee left and then I need to cut myself off for the day. So, okay. All right. So enough of that. If you're joining on the broadcast later or live, just let me know where you're joining from. But today I wanted to talk about a mindset topic, which is how to identify where you might have hidden roadblocks. And it is super useful in all areas of your life, and it's super, super simple. So I don't know if this will take like super long or not. It should hopefully be a 15-minute or at the most broadcast. But with this one tip, you can use it. Ooh, I have a filter, by the way, on the phone. You can like filter the colors. So I have like a little bit of a pop color filter. It makes my nails look crazy, right? Super neon. So yes, so with this one easy, quick tip, you can use it to start identifying where you're actually blocking yourself in any area of your life. And basically you can't really move past a block unless you unless you identify it and take responsibility and realize it's even there. So this is like step one to get through any blocks that you might have in your life. And I know you might be thinking like, why is this messaging person talking about this? And I am talking about this because, first of all, it's been super powerful in my own life, so I feel like I should share it with you guys. And then secondly, I come across people having blocks about their writing and their messaging all the time. My clients all have had stuff come up where I guess I'll reveal it later when I tell you the tip, like the examples, but comes up a lot. Everyone has blocks around different things in their business, in their life, etc. So that's why I'm sharing this one tip that you can use to help you uncover where those blocks might be for you. And then from there, some ideas and tips that you can have used to overcome the block. So, all right, enough of that. And now I'm going to get into the tip. So I actually learned this tip from my personal coach, one of my personal coaches, and it was in relation to my relationships area. Hi, Kristen, if you're still on, you've heard this. But it was I first came about it through working on the relationships aspect of my life. So basically the tip is that it's very spiritual also, disclaimer, but the universe wants you to feel good, and it wants you to be pursuing your highest good. And that's very, dependent on the person. So, it's not like everyone's going to want to have, $1 million a year business and all this stuff, but we each have things that we really want in our life that would make us feel like the most fully expressed. And that's what the universe wants for us too. And so it wants us to feel good in our lives and not like crap. And so the one tip I want to share with you is to just notice if you are thinking anything that makes you feel diminished. I'm just going to say a bunch of synonyms, but it makes you feel like diminished, small, incapable, bad, just like feeling bad. Notice if you're having a thought that makes you feel that way versus if you're having a thought that makes you feel good. And if it's a thought that makes you feel bad, essentially, then that could be a block for you. That's the tip. So it is pretty simple. Let me get into like some examples. So like I said, I personally started to encounter this when I was working on my relationships, and what I noticed was I would say something to myself like pretty frequently, like, oh, you know, the kind of man I'm looking for doesn't exist or something, right? And so if I say that, just feel with me if I say, like, if I'm looking for a relationship and I say, like, the kind of man that I want doesn't exist, like, that does not feel good to say or think. And I am cancel clearing deleting this. I don't actually believe it, universe, but this is for example purposes only. So that doesn't feel good. And if I said something like, the man I'm looking for is out there, that feels good, right? Don't you see, like, there's like a sense of hope and like excitement, even depending on how it's said, of course, but like that's expansive to say that he's out there, even if I haven't met him. And it feels diminishing to say like he doesn't exist, right? So, you know, because I am working with people on their businesses, we can easily transfer this to a business concept. So in business, it would be, you know, I can't sign a client, you know, or the kind of, you know, my ideal client doesn't like me or isn't responding to me. Like all of those examples, or like even for me, what I hear a lot as a messaging strategist is I suck at writing, you know, stuff like that. Like all that stuff makes you feel like you can't, like you're less than, like you can't do something, etc. And that's like just not the case. And that means that it's not a true thought, and it could be a place where you have a block. Okay, so just pay attention to how your thought is making you feel. If it makes you feel expansive or diminished or bad or good, and anything that's on the bad end of the spectrum could be a place where you have a block. Okay, so and then, you know, of course, the good side of it, you know, I'm good at writing, or if you really can't feel that you're really good at it yet, you can just say something as simple as, I'm learning how to write, or I'm learning how to get, you know, I'm learning how to do this. So it removes the judgment, or like the judgment or bad out of the statement when I don't, you know, instead of saying I'm bad at writing, I'm saying like I'm learning how to do it. So it's still like forward looking, you feel like you're expanding, you know, so even if you're not at the point of believing that you're good at it, that's okay. But you know, there's a different way to frame things. Sorry, I'm like by a busy street and it's so loud sometimes if you heard the car horn. I feel like I'm in like New York. I'm really not. I'm just on a busy street. But I am in LA, so there's a lot of driving. So let me just break it down so that's the concept. Hopefully it's simple. If you're on live, let me know, or if you're on the recording, let me know if you got that. But essentially, does the thought make you feel bad? You know, bad, contracted, icky, or does it make you feel good, expanded, hopeful, blah, blah, good or bad? And if it's on the bad end of the spectrum, then then it's a place to look at for a possible way that you're blocking yourself from what you're meant to do. Okay? So that's the basic concept. Then in terms of how to overcome it, there are literally so many things that you can do. So I'll just use one example and we'll talk about how to overcome. So I'm just going to use the example that, since I hear it a lot in my role as a messaging strategist, that, you know, I suck at writing, you know, nobody listens to what I say. Okay, and I know this place is easy to fall into, especially when you're newer in your business and you're putting out writing or emails or posts, and it feels like, you know, no one's even liking it, which is like, you know, the easiest thing to do in the world or whatever. And so it's easy to feel like, oh, maybe I suck at writing, or like people don't want to listen to me or whatever. Okay, so let's say you're thinking that I suck at writing. But then you realize, because you listened to the tip I just gave you, that, is there something underneath that? Because it doesn't make me feel good to think that about myself. And so I'm just going to do a little digging on what is going on there. And so this is where you can definitely do on your own. You can do this process on your own to just journal on it, or you can, have if you have a coach or something, then they can help you, or, me, if you're working with me, I can help you figure it out. Sometimes we do need, a therapist if you have one. Like, any of those kind of trained people can help you, like, figure out if you're having trouble figuring it out on your own, what's underneath the thought you're having that's making you feel bad. But anyway, so let's say that your thought is, I'm bad at writing, right? And so you realize, oh, well, that doesn't make me feel good to think that about myself. So I'm just going to look a little deeper into this, right? And so, like I said, one thing you can do is journal about it and just keep asking yourself, like, why do I think that? Why? And, or again, get support from somebody else that you're working with, or, just, really thinking, meditating, whatever, even just thinking about it if you're not a writing person. But I'm just going to go with the journaling because I feel like that's super approachable way that most people have access to work on something. So if I thought I'm bad at writing and then I just ask myself, like, why do I think that? I'm just going to unpeel the layers. And then, you know that you're really getting close to it when it's something that is getting close to the real root of it, when it's something that is not like tied to other people or circumstances, I would say. So let's just go down the rabbit hole of, if I thought I was bad at writing, what I could uncover by doing the journaling. So I could say, and this is kind of stuff I've actually heard from various clients, so I'm kind of making it up as I go, but based on the experience I've had. So if I say I'm bad at writing and I just keep asking myself why, I could go, I'm bad at writing. Why? Because I always did, math and engineering in school and college, and I just never felt like I learned how to write. And then it's like, why? Well, I was really good at, math, and so that's all I wanted to focus on. And why? Well, because when I was in second grade, my teacher, and it might take more layers, right? I'm fast tracking it for example purposes, but why? Well, when I was in second grade, my teacher made fun of me in front of the class because I couldn't write a paragraph about my dog on a piece of paper or something, and it's like, that's something really traumatic. And you might not have a reason like that, but like, that's like a real getting to the root of why you think this about yourself about writing, or you could, this is all, again, like I said, based on real experience. Somebody could say, why? I'm not good at writing. Why? Well, I just don't think that people are going to listen to what I have to say. Why? Because I think that what I have to say doesn't make sense. Like, I bumble over my words and I don't know how to pick good words and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, you just keep going down and seeing like what's really behind it. And, some of the things that I want to offer to you are, and trust me, like, sometimes people are like, oh, is it this reason and this or this, hi, Katie, it's good to see you, and I'm offering these to you, and some of these possible explanations, this is what I've uncovered in working with people, if as usually as possible reasons for a block. And this is actually based on, not based on the writing example, but based on any block. So people either don't want to get intimate with the process or with a person. They're afraid of being intimate and vulnerable. Not, like I said, with people, that makes a little more sense for most people. Also makes sense with processes, right? Like when I was doing my summit and I was resisting it for the first few months and I didn't start, even though I had access to the materials, this is my personal example. I was afraid of really getting my hands dirty because I was afraid of like failing or not doing a good job or whatever. And so I let that keep me from doing it. So a lot of times it's like an intimacy, getting intimate with a person or a process. There could be like a trust thing going on, like not trusting the plan or yourself to follow through on the plan. Also something I experience a lot. You know, it could be if it's perfectionism, then there could be, you know, a worry that you're not good enough, or that what you do is, you know, not going to be good enough. So you just end up doing nothing because it won't be perfect. You know, like all these things are blocks, like that people could have, reasons behind blocks that people have. So it does take more digging and more support, or like, you know, support if you have it or not. Or like I said, really journaling and being, you know, and when you start the journaling, just think like, just ask, you know, whether you believe in God or whatever, but just say like, please reveal to me what I need to know about this, and then do the journaling. That's as simple as it could be. So anyway, like I was saying, the tip that I shared today in recap, and this is your last call. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm not going to linger and wait for questions. So if you have a question, right now is the time to type it. So the tip I shared was, if you want to find out what's blocking you, just look at how your thought is making you feel. Does it make you feel good? You know, and all the things that go along with good, like hopeful, expansive, etc. Or does it make you feel bad? All the things that go along with bad, like contracted, small, not worthy, etc. So it doesn't make you feel good or bad. If it makes you feel bad, then it's something to look at as a possible block. And then I just went through some of the ways that you can actually start working on figuring out why it's a block, including journaling, reaching out for support if you have a therapist or a coach, or even a friend that can be neutral. Again, be careful with friends and family helping you on things like this. But, you know, we all have maybe a family member or a friend that would actually be good to help, that can be neutral and helping you guide through something. So those are some of the options that you can do. And if you do the journaling, just keep asking yourself, like, why? Every time you make a statement, and see what you uncover. So that's all I wanted to share today. And if you got anything out of this, or you got any kind of an idea or anything, please comment. Even if you're watching the recording. And I also included a link to book a free 20-minute call with me in the description of the video. So on this call, we can go through, if you feel like your writing and being visible for your business and all that kind of stuff is an area that makes you feel bad, then there could be a block around it, and I would love to help you uncover what that might be. So when you click the link to book that call, there's a form, and there's like anything else you'd want me to know. You can just let me know that you found, or you're booking the call after this live, and I would be happy to talk to you about it. So again, that's all I wanted to share today. Hopefully it's a really simple tip, and I hope you have an amazing rest of the week. I will be back on live again on Thursday, same time, 1:30 p.m. Pacific, which is 4:30 p.m. Eastern. All right. Bye, everyone.